in terms of marketing fitting into your business plan, which is what you're doing at the moment, what's the most important part of your business plan?
Your idea.
Your idea, fantastic, yes. So we're going to have a business plan over here now. So this is your business plan. So one of the offers we've got, so your business plan is about an idea. Give me more on that. So you're on the right track. Good. So you want to monetize that idea. So okay. Do you think therefore that a charity should have a business plan?
Yes.
Definitely. Okay.
Charities are businesses.
Charities are businesses. All right. So should a church have a business plan? Okay. So here's another. Should a charitable organisation have a plan?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So a charitable organisation should have a plan. When we begin to call it a business plan, typically putting the word business in front of the plan denotes the fact that businesses are out to make a profit. Now please understand this. Profit is not a dirty word. Okay? It is good to make a profit. So, one of the key things when you're talking about your business plan, probably the single most important aspect of any business plan is your goal. Okay? So yes, it's good enough to have an idea. But if you think about this over here, many people have this airy-fairy idea. How many of you, let's just put this to the test. How many of you have written down your goals in writing?
What, personal goals?
Personal goals.
Just goals.
One. Another bit, okay? The reality is that even after me telling you this, the sad reality is only 20% of you are going to do it. And yet it is one of the most proved facts that people who write down their goals are far more likely to achieve them. So businesses who write down their goals are far more likely to achieve it. And that's where the business plan comes in. Because you see, a plan denotes that you're aiming to get somewhere. So what is the destination? Is it this airy-fairy cloud that moves and wafts with the weather? Okay. Yes, for many people it is. That sadly is their life. Okay. If you want to give your life some purpose, if you want to give a business some purpose, you give it a sense of direction. That's what purpose denotes. We've got a sense of direction. And direction denotes you must actually kind of know where you're going. Okay? So, let me just illustrate a quick point here. If I was to say, can I have a volunteer?
Yeah.
Great. Here are my car keys. Outside over there, there's a silver Nissan Safira. Could you please go?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't come back either. He's giving you his car.
All right.
I'm sorted.
Fantastic.
I'll take notes for you, James.
Fantastic. So, one of the key things with what's just happened, of course, is I'm guessing he hasn't gone very far. But what's the most obvious thing that's going through his mind at the moment?
What do I do?
Where am I meant to be going? Okay. So, once you decide where you're meant to be going, the next obvious question is, well, why? Okay. So should I put him out his misery and let him come in so you can all see his feet over there? Go on. Most people actually ask where am I going, but I'm good that you waited for me. Okay. The funniest thing, I do this often actually, by the way. Often when it comes to planning, because I do business plans with people, and when I'm doing it in a setting like this, I often ask people to just go. And normally they get to the door and they turn around and say, so where am I going? Okay. And then you pick someone. So I would have picked up. I would have said, oh look, could you go down up to the hospital, please? And then inevitably people go, oh, okay, why? So you give them a reason. Oh look, I need you to pick something up from there so that we can do this. They go, okay, has it got enough petrol? And they begin to ask logical questions. And the reality is that many of you will plan your holidays better than you will plan to succeed in business. It is very true. I've had the privilege of lecturing and speaking to and working with over 1,000 businesses over the last 3 years across New Zealand and Australia. And there's the one common thing I can tell you is that many of them plan their holidays a lot better than they plan to succeed in business. Okay. If you were to ask a business, where are you going? When do you intend to get there? Who are you taking with you? How much money are you going to make on this journey? Okay. Many of them don't know. And yet if you ask them that around their holiday, you know who you're going with, where you're going, what you're likely to do when you get there, etc., etc. Now one of the key things I'm going to encourage you to do, before you can even start to look at your marketing plan, you've got to decide where exactly you want to go. You need a crystal clear vision. I sometimes call it a lighthouse because it's got very clear beams of light. Okay? And the reality is that for most businesses, this is you today. So this is you today, and you want to get from here to here. And just like a car journey, if you think about going on a car journey, how many of you, if we were driving from here to Auckland, how long does it take?
8 hours.
8 hours, okay. And if you're going to drive, how can you get there?
Follow the map.
Oh, follow a map, fantastic. So which roads could I take to get up? There are multiple ways. What are the 3 main ways to get up to Auckland?
Desert Road.
Well, you could fly, but we said we're driving. So you go up the desert road, up the middle.
Where you go out.
National Park.
Yep, you could go up Napier Way, you could go up New Plymouth Way. Okay, the 3. If I said to you, you had to get up to there within the next 6 hours, which road would you have to take?
Well, you can
One
speed
through
on.
Hamilton.
You'd have to go the one right up the middle. And yes, you're going to have to speed. So let's look at this. If I'm leaving here, let's break our journey down into 4 parts. Because how many of you would do that? If you're traveling somewhere, you think about where you're going, saying, okay, well, if I'm going to get there by that time, I need to be here by this, and there by that, and there by that. How many of you do that? Fantastic. So, what's halfway? Taupo. Yep, many of us would say Taupo is halfway. Yeah, what's 3/4 way? Hamilton. Sort of, yep, Bombay Hills, Hamilton. Great. And what about 1/4 way? Taihame. Yep, good with that. Alright. If we're leaving here and we're driving up the middle of the island, what's the first little town we're going to come through? Bulls. And then? Sanson. Then? Hunterville. And as we go up, if you live around here, you begin to know most of the little towns that are over here. However, if you begin to get to the middle, you go, oh, then you hit Taihape, then you hit, I suppose you hit Wairuru, and then something else, and then we get to Taupo, and then over here you go, oh, between Taupo and Hamilton is something, you know. So you've got a spot, and you might not even know what you say. Once I hit the Bombay Hills, I'm there. Okay. When you do a business plan, for many people, I encourage them to do what we call a milestone business plan. Okay, where you know exactly what you need to do, all the little towns that you're going to go through, all the little steps you need to take, and as you get further and further out, you might not actually know what steps you need to be taking up here, but you do know what road you need to be on. The reason this is important when we come to talking about a marketing plan is because a marketing plan fits into a business plan. So, let's say you've all said that it's going to take 8 hours. You drive very safely. It normally takes about 7, to be honest. But I'll give you 7 to 8 hours. All right? I've said you've got to get there in 6. And like you quite rightly said, that means at some point you're going to have to speed. Okay. Now, when you plan in advance, what it allows you to do is that you can say, great, we're going to need to take a risk. A risk of getting caught, okay, and therefore to minimize that risk, there are a couple of things we can do. We can choose to travel when there's no ice on the roads. We can choose to travel at night because you're that much less likely to get caught, and you can choose to prepare in advance by having a speed detection camera. Sound fair? And then what you might say is, well, look, the straightest, safest road to speed on has got to be the desert road. So I'm going to leave. And so sort of along the desert road, depending on what time I'm making, so how good my time is, I'm going to speed. That's my risk. This is where we take the risk factor. Now, in a business plan concept, that risk often comes down to when you employ your first person. Okay? When you go and pitch for your first huge project, and you've got to go and stretch yourself a little bit more than you're comfortable. But this whole plan, the whole way along, relies on having petrol in the car. Would you agree? That's kind of important. And the petrol in the car, in the marketing sense, is the customers coming in through the door. Okay? You've got to have customers coming in so that the cash is still there. So when we look at marketing, depending on how fast you're going to go, how big an engine you've got and all the rest of it, you need to know, well, how much petrol am I going to need? So the marketing plan begins to fit in terms of, if we want a $250,000 business within 2 years, how many customers will we need to get that? What's your average sale? Okay? And therefore, how many customers will you need? And you obviously, can you deliver? So you need to build up towards delivering on that. And that's what the marketing plan does. It says, where are you aiming to go to? And once it knows where you're going to, its part then is, if you're aiming to be there, what do the sales and marketing people need to do to make sure that you can get there? What's their role? So from your business plan, every business plan can be broken down into various parts. You've got your HR part, the people you're going to have on board. You've got your sales part and marketing. Some people put them together, some people split it. It's entirely up to you how you do it. We'll talk more about that shortly. Okay. Some people, you need, what else do you need in a business plan?
Operations.
See? Operations, yeah. There's a key part of a business plan that you need. What else do you need?
Finances.
Finance, okay. Great. And another part? What other parts are you building into your business plan?
The executive summary.
Okay, so that's to present it. What components of the business plan? So I'm hoping that all of your business plan have those chapters if you want. What other chapters do you have?
Strategies.
Okay, so you've got strategies, okay? So what we begin to look at is in the business plan, part of the business plan is to look at making it strategic. And for larger companies, they have a business plan and then they have the strategic plan. And what the strategic plan is, it's like the map that says, the business plan says we want to be here. The strategic plan says, this is the map we're going to take to get there. These are the speeds we're going to be traveling at. And these are the destinations we need to be at in order to arrive there on time. What I call a milestone plan. Okay?